since I was a young boy, I've been a fan of Pokemon. Movies, TV shows, action figures. Pokemon has consumed my life. One day while I was at the mall, I saw a Pikachu t-shirt in the front window of the store. I had to have it, so I begged my mother to get it for me. It made me think, oh, how cute. He had a Pikachu t-shirt as a kid. You are sadly mistaken. That was a month ago. The next day at school, I wore the shirt. Long story short, my best friend, who's stood by my side since the 2nd grade, avoided me like the plague. I'm sad to say, this is not my first encounter with social isolation as a result of my individual nature. Nor was it my last. Every day, we see people who are different. That girl with the blue streaks in her. That kid who already has a bald spot. That 16-year-old boy who still wears a Pikachu t-shirt. But, you know what? I wouldn't change myself one bit. I love being unique. This is what webcomic Nick Kocher brings to us in his speech at the Padea High School senior dinner, entitled, "Don't Be an Individual." Through the use of extreme satire and humor, Kocher brings to us the difficulties of adolescence and the desire to give in to society's norms. Kocher's individual nature has helped pave the way for all of us to feel a little bit more comfort in our own skin. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today as a product of Padea School. I entered Padea in 7th grade as a skinny, acne-scarred boy with bad posture. And now, 6 years later, I emerge. A skinny, slightly smarter boy with horrible posture who hides his acne with concealer cream. Now, I know I may not have changed physically at all, but I did learn a few important lessons along the way. The most important of these being, if you try to be creative and an individual, it will never end well, so you might as well conform and live happily in obscurity. I learned this lesson early in life at Morningside Elementary School. I was in kindergarten. It was about halfway through the year, and our teacher, Mr. Goldman, said, "Okay, class, everybody go pick out an item in the classroom that is your favorite color." There was a quick scramble about the class, and soon we had reassembled in the center of the room, where Mr. Goldman told us to form groups based upon the color we picked. Every girl had picked either pink or yellow, and every boy, blue or green. Blue was my favorite color, so I grabbed the washcloth by the sink. Mr. Goldman looked around the room to make sure everyone was in place, and his eyes came to rest on me. I'm compelled to inform you that I have red-green color blindness, making it very difficult to tell certain colors apart, namely blue and purple. Slowly, Mr. Goldman walked over, picked down in front of the whole class, and said, "Nicholas, are you sure you're where you belong?" I looked at all the boys surrounding me. "Yep," I said. "Well, actually, Nicholas, you have a purple washcloth." The kids around me took a step back. "That's okay, though. You can have your very own group. You'll be an individual." The class giggled and my face turned a bright red, or my individual interpretation of what red is. But the worst was yet to come. Soon we began singing a song in which, during the appropriate time, each group would shout their color and wave their object in the air. One by one, each group called out, "Blue, green, pink, yellow." Mr. Goldman looked at me, nodded, and I slowly waved my washcloth in the air. "Purple." It was the most alone I had ever felt in my life. From then on, anytime I did anything outside the norm, I was mocked and humiliated. Before I begin this next story, I would like to clear something up. Dancing is stupid. It has absolutely no point, and it only makes you look stupid. I learned this lesson earlier in the year. My friend Max Goldstein and I went on a double date with 2 Westminster girls. I'm really bad on dates. They feel like job interviews, and I feel that in a lot of time I put everything I got out on the table. So far, I was batting about a 200. My story about something I had said in history class had gotten a few laughs. But my joke about women's cycles had not, shall we say. Soon, I had exhausted every funny story in my repertoire and was struggling for conversation topics. I looked to my friend Max for some assistance, and I say that both he and his date were nowhere in sight. Thanks. The isolation only worsened the situation, and I became desperate to end the silence that was moving from awkward to physically painful. I began racking my brain for ideas, and took the first one that came. I asked the girl if she wanted to see the pop and lock routine I'd learned from a web video entitled Dance Moves. She was a little taken aback, but agreed. After moving a chair away and pressing the play button on my stereo, I was off. I started out well, making sure all my movements were strong and defined. But then, my mind caught on, and I began to realize what I was doing. I was alone, in my room, with an attractive Westminster girl, and I was popping and locking. After that revelation, the dance sort of faded away. That's it, I said, nervously looking over at her. Wow, she said, that was really something. I mean, wow. It was then that she noticed it was getting late. I know now, it was too late for me. I will never be part of the crowd. I'm skinny. I get pimples and dry skin at the same time. And I just do things that normal people don't do. I'm the textbook example of why you should not be an individual. Nick's really nice. He's just not my type. Of course I'm not her type. I am no one's type because I am an individual. I'm a walking, awkward pause. I trip on things, say inappropriate things at the worst moments, and do the dance, pop and lock routine on dates when there is only one other person in the room. I stand before you today pleading with you not to be like me. Be like Max Goldstein. He is the person I wish all people unsure of how to live their lives should live their lives. He's a man's man, the all-time strikeout leader in Disney baseball history. He walks about knowing he's cooler than other people and talks as if he doesn't care about anything at all. Now, you may say, you mean to tell us that we should completely withdraw our minds from the real world and move through life without actually living it? That is exactly what I'm saying. Stop living. Living is the first branch you hit on your fall down the unique tree. Thousands of people die through living every day. It's the leading cause of death. Everyone who lives dies. Think about that the next time someone tells you to seize the day. And then probably squarely in the mouth. Live your life by the following rules. Before you do anything, look around. Make sure it's something that everyone else around you is doing. Don't ever voice any opinion of your own. And in the name of all that is holy, do not ever dance. I'm going to list a few people now. Some of whom followed this advice, and others who didn't. These are the people that decided they would step out of the line and stand up for what they believed in. Abraham Lincoln, Lenny Bruce, Joe Hamilton, Michael Moore, Jesus, and Jack from Titanic. Of these people, one is not dead, and no one much likes him anyhow. Even Disney thinks he's kind of a jerk. Now, those among the crowd that followed them decided to take the road traveled by much cooler people who probably knew what they were doing. Paige Graff, Joe Jobbie, Alex Marble, Willie Dean, and Chin Quailon. You don't know any of them? Good. That's just how they like it. My name is Nick Kocher. I'm a product of today. You not.